favorite camp meals. It's spicy Nashville chicken, or my version of it. I've had to adapt the original recipe a little bit to be used in the woods, and I've also adapted how it's served. So I'm going to show you two different ways I like to enjoy this meal, and as I said, it is my version of it. So I'll start showing you how that's set up. Let me get everything set up here, and I'll show you that recipe. Sorry about the makeshift studio here. It's pretty windy out. I hope you can see all right in here. I'm trying to block some of that wind. Anyway, as I said, let me get set up and we'll start this recipe. Okay, my recipe is set up to feed a couple guys. So if you're going to make this for yourself, you're going to want to cut the ingredients down a little bit. So first off, I'm going to start with melting a half a cup of butter. We're going to melt that down. Turn it down a little bit. We don't want to scorch the butter. Okay. Now, we're going to, as I said, melt the butter down. I've got the ingredients here so I could remember them. I went ahead and pre-mixed my dry mix that's going to go in the butter. You can also use a vegetable oil, half a cup of vegetable oil. I went ahead and mixed up my dry mix, as I said, so it makes it easier to carry. I don't have to carry all the ingredients separate. What I have is a 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. You could use regular, but it does call for kosher. 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. I actually went a little heavy on that. The other thing I noticed in using vegetable oil as compared to butter, it doesn't seem to mix as well. It leaves it a little, the oil separates a little bit. Anyway, 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. Again, I went a little heavy. And 3 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. I, again, went a little heavy. The original recipe calls for 6 for a medium. So, now that my butter has melted, I'm going to mix this in. You want to whisk it in if you have that option, but we're just going to mix it. With the oil, it really does not mix well. You seem to fight it a little bit more, getting the ingredients to mix correctly. And as right now we're just making the sauce that will be going on the meal. And you can adjust the cayenne to your liking and the brown sugar. Well, actually all the ingredients. The sauce is not a smooth sauce. It has a granular texture to it, which I think is a combination of the brown sugars and the cayenne and the pepper. Okay, I'm going to heat that through. Yeah. Ooh, that's spicy. Okay. Now you don't want to boil that, which I actually let go a little bit too far. I'm going to pour that off into my bowl. Hope you can get a good look at that. Now you could dump your chicken straight in, but I do find that's a little bit too much. And pour a little of that juice in there to loosen some of that sauce up. As I said, you do not have to prepare it in the same pan if you don't want it too spicy, but or if you want to save some of the chicken for another meal, or somebody that doesn't want to use the spice, you can prepare it separately in a different cup or pan. I hate letting my burner go, but yeah, it's a fairly new burner. Anyway, we'll heat our chicken through now. And this will be pretty spicy where I cooked it in the remnants of the sauce, but it's the whole idea of it. Break some of that chicken up. It's a little chunkier than I would like. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm using chicken chunks here out of a can. The original recipe calls for a fried chicken breast that's actually marinated in a sauce similar, oh, dripping everywhere, a sauce similar to the sauce we made. And sometimes a little hot sauce is added on top of that to the mixture. I think it's fine with the cayenne, so I leave it. I'm just a little rocky there, so I'm kind of watching what I do. But as I say, they usually use a fried chicken breast, but that's kind of hard to do out in the woods, so we're improvising. Okay, I went ahead and drained the juices off the chicken after I cooked it all the way through. And as I said, this is traditionally done with a chicken breast, but we're improvising in the woods. Now, mind you, this is not a meal for the faint of heart. It is a bit spicy. I've made it too spicy for myself a few times. Okay, as you'll notice, I don't know if you can see that, but the sauce, even with the butter, does not always mix well or gel together, however you want to say that. And here's the reason I like to make the sauce separate from just cooking the chicken in the sauce, is you then can place your own amount of sauce on the chicken but trying to keep as much as I can with the original recipe. It's always topped off with a couple pickles. Yeah. Now, don't want to drop that. As I said, that's one way I like to make it. Another version I like, got my pan there, is on a tortilla. Oh, shouldn't have left my spoon in there. I got it into the sauce. I have to go wash that off. There's still quite a bit. As I said, I made the one on the bun and the tortilla. And there's still a lot of chicken there, enough for another guy to have the same amount of food, or one each. Put a little bit on there for that. And, of course, I still like to add my pickles to it. You can cut your pickles up if you want and dice them up a bit more. I don't. Here we go. Oh, that is good. Oh, that's good. But again, mind you, this is not, yeah, it just got me. This is not for the faint of heart. If you do not like spicy, you might want to stay away from this. and you can adjust the cayenne to the level of heat you want. Well guys, I had to reshoot my ending here. Started talking and the flame hit me. So it does have a bite to it and an afterburn. If you're one that doesn't like spicy food, you might want to stay away from this. If you love spicy food, I think you'll love it. You can again adjust the ingredients how you choose, the cayenne to your level of heat. If you guys got a different recipe than this, let me know. If you go out and try this, I'd like to know that too. So guys, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this. You know what? I'm almost thinking I should have saved this for tomorrow. It's supposed to be pretty cold. I might save the rest of that and mix with breakfast. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.